Advantage Podcast with your host, Brett Bovin. Thank you for tuning in and enjoy the show.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Whitetail Advantage Podcast. I'm your host, Brett Bovin. With me tonight is the producer of the show, the deucer that I like to call him. If this is the first time tuning into the show, thank you for tuning in. Each week we cover a new state, talk to multiple guests from that state. We do a live show Monday through Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We learn what it's like to hunt out there. We learn the ins and outs of what makes them successful out there. We do a lot of things during the show. We like doing the live shows because it gives us a chance to interact with the audience, the listeners. Some days we might get a guest on the show, and some days we not. For instance, tonight we don't have a guest. We had a guest planned, but we had to reschedule it due to some family medical issues, which that's going to happen. It's okay. But tonight on the show, real quick before I go any further, I like to say, put a cord in the slot machine. What I mean by that is share the show. We like getting our word out. Hunting's dying, and we can't help spread the word of hunting without your support. And all we ask is if you help share the show just by clicking the share button. But with that being said, let's get into tonight's show. This episode 57. I've been wanting to kind of get on here myself and talk about some things that's kind of been pissing me off, honestly. And one thing, I even wrote notes down because it's like my brain just kept moving around of how pissed I was getting. It's like, no, just stay on one thing for tonight. And the one thing that I wanted to start off with the show is, if you want to come on the show and talk about some topic that we're going to be talking about tonight, for instance, we're going to talk about how this country is getting fucking lazy, why hunting is dying, why the mistreatment towards law enforcement, the military, all that. What it's sad to see that no one else is, well, there's other people that are making a voice and they're standing up for what's right. But not a lot of people are doing it. And we're going to be doing it here on this show. And for tonight, I wanted to start off by saying that this country is fucking lazy. Sorry. The government wants us to be fucking fat, lazy pieces of crap. And this new day and age of, you can't be an alpha male and it's a bad thing. They make it look like you can't be this way or you're going to get cancel culture crap. Fuck that. I got picked on as a kid. I got bullied. Do you see me wanting to go to these, whatever, I don't even know what the fuck they call them, of how let's ban bullying and we have a zero tolerance on bullying. In my opinion, bullying is a good thing because it makes you stronger. It's either going to do a couple things. One, you're going to learn from it, get stronger mentally and physically, and basically tell the bullies to fuck off. And yes, we're going to be swearing on this show. If you don't like it, don't give a shit. Sorry. But like I was saying about the bullying part, I got bullied, but I made sure that it helped me of what I wanted to become as a law enforcement officer, because I wanted to stick up for people that can't defend themselves. In my opinion, it made me who I am today, in the sense of I stick up for what's right. I stick up for the people that can't defend themselves and they don't have a voice. And with this new day and age of, like I said, the government wants us to be fat pieces of shit just laying around doing nothing. And what do? They create social media. They create TikTok. They create TikTok to TikTok is ruining this country. Let me just clarify this real quick. I'm reading an article real quick by Social Media Psychology, and I'm not going to read the full thing. I don't want to bore you to death. It says, binging on an endless stream of 15 to 30-second long videos slashes our attention span like no other type of media can do. The fact that the regular users spend hours more on average on TikTok compared to the more traditional social media platforms only adds up to the problem. You'll never see Whitetail Advantage on TikTok. And these people out there saying, well, we need to create these shorts and these reels and all these quick little videos to reach a new demographic. And it helps with the hunting. We need to increase hunting, so this is a good way to do it. No, you're only feeding into the problem. What I mean by that is hunting itself takes time and patience, and you got to put in the work. But you have these kids now that all they want to do is sit on their phone and watch these 15 to 30-second video clips to get that quick satisfaction or whatever, if you want to call it that. And you see these other platforms making these, and they say, well, we don't agree with it, but we need to help reach the demographic of these young kids because the baby boomers, they're aging out of hunting, so we got to reach these newer, younger audience and bring them into hunting. Well, you're not going to do it because they're going to be so addicted to sitting on their phone watching these quick little videos. And all they're going to want to do is sit on their couch and eat Cheetos. I mean, heck, it goes on to say short-term memory and the ability to concentrate are also affected. Devoted TikTokers report that they are unable to focus on longer video formats anymore, let alone reading a book. So they're not educating themselves. They're not even doing their own homework. 50% of users admit that they find longer videos stressful. That's sad. They don't want to go outside. They want to sit in their house and have their parents pay for all their crap and just watch freaking TikTok all damn day. It's sad to see. And we keep saying that hunting is dying and we need to reach the kids, but you're not doing it the right way. You're going about it the wrong way if you're going to go about doing these shorts and reels. And they say, well, it helps create with you can reach new audience and you can help with I don't know where I was going to go with that, but it's just sad to see that kids these days, they don't want to go outside. They're scared of hunting. They're basically scared of the sun. Why would they want to go outside and enjoy an awesome experience outside and get some great vitamins from the sun and just being outside? It's healthy. Sorry, I'm getting a little cotton mouth because this is a sport that I grew up that my parents taught me. My dad taught me. I only archery hunt. And nowadays you have like I said, they just want to watch their social media platforms of TikTok and these reels on YouTube. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that.
Brett.
Yeah.
The biggest problem that we're having these days is the parents. At the end of the day, these parents, I think what you're trying to say is the parents are not pushing their kids outside, just like how we were all growing up. Stay outside, doors are locked, get muddy. break some legs, jump around, do this, do that. Now these days it's play this game, get on this site, get on that site. Don't worry about this hunting. Let's get on virtual. Let's not go out and learn about nature. Get dirty. If I get a little dirty, oh my gosh, I'm going to sue you. Or, the skin disease, all that stuff. I get what you're saying, but I think that's the point you're trying to come around.
It is. And for me as a parent, I have a daughter and a son. And it's my responsibility to protect them and teach them the right thing. These kids these days are soft because we're teaching them that bullying is a bad thing. I get it. Bullying sucks. But in my opinion, nut the fuck up if you're a dude, chick, whatever. These soft kids these days, it's sad. I'm going to teach my kids to be a fucking beast. Because then at the end of the day, they go at it 110% compared to these kids that are only giving 5%. They're going to go run the fucking country compared to these kids nowadays. Don't get me wrong. I grew up in the sporting world. I have a competitive edge in me. No matter what I do, I constantly need and feel. You think that I do this? I just come on here and talk to these and do this show and I just go to bed at the end of it? No. I'm busting my ass on this on Whitetail Advantage. I get 4 hours of sleep a night. One, because I can't stand sleep. I love hunting. So I'm going to teach my kids as a parent, a father, that no matter what they do, though, I want them to get into sports. I want them to get into hunting and fishing and love the outdoors. And I'm going to tell them that. But at the end of the day, no matter what they want to do, I'm going to be there behind them 110% of the time and be proud of them and tell them I love them every step of the way. But you have to promise me you give me, no matter what you decide to do in life, 110%. Nowadays, these parents, they just want to let their kids just sit around and have their iPad as a parent. It's sad. I mean, heck, sorry if I'm taking a moment just trying to gather myself around here because this is, I mean, heck, I was reading this article today about from North Carolina State titled "Decline in Hunters Threatens How U.S. Pays for Conservation." I mean, if we're not fixing the problem of getting with these older hunters, they're aging out of hunting, and these newer kids not getting into hunting, we're going to have a bigger problem on our hands than we realize. I mean, let me try and find this real quick. I had a spot in here. It quotes on the state. A new survey by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service shows that today, only about 5% of Americans 16 years old or old and older actually hunt. That's half of what that it was 50 years ago, and the decline is expected to accelerate over the next decade. I mean, if we're not getting these kids outside, what are we doing? We're going to have a huge population of deer causing all these problems, and it's just going to lead to bigger environmental problems than we can fucking realize. And it goes on to, let me find another part of the article. Meanwhile, other wildlife-centered activities like bird watching, hiking, and photography are rapidly growing as American society and attitudes towards wildlife change. I mean, there's some good, but still, it's kind of sad. Trying to find the spot in here. I don't know. I can't find it anymore. And the government doesn't want to help at all. All they want to do is make the police look like bad people. Yeah, it might be jumping around, but I mean, ever since I was a kid, all I wanted to ever do was become a cop. And then I spent 7 years in law enforcement. I had to leave law enforcement because of just the mental stress that came with it. And nowadays, the government makes hurting cops, they make it as a good thing. Like you almost get a fucking reward if you hurt a cop. That's just pathetic. I mean, I've talked to other cops, and the fact that they don't want to use, when they're legally allowed to use deadly force, they don't want to because they are scared of the outcome that they're going to get. They're going to go to prison for the rest of their life when they legally have the right to do it. And now they're second guessing what they do on the road, and you want to defund these cops. And I mean, I've worked in the jail. I've worked the road. It's not a good thing. And if I was running this country, I'm not saying I'm the smartest man, but if I was to run this country, I'd make sure that if you were to hurt a cop in any fashion, you would get sent to prison for the rest of your fucking life. Then we wouldn't have this problem of cops shooting unarmed people. You wouldn't have that problem at all. But no, they want to focus on making sure they get the votes so they can stay in the office and make a bunch of money while we, as the middle class, had to scrounge around for fucking pennies. And that's what they want us to be. And shit, they have illegal immigrants crossing the country, flooding here, killing, raping people, stealing from them. They'll send them to jail and they'll just give them a little slap on the wrist and let them go right out the fucking door and go do it again. And they'll make sure that they'll put these people in these more Republican leaning areas so they can get their votes, so they can stay in office, so they can stay making a shit ton of money, that they take all the money that we make as Americans, ship it out of this country, along with all of our military weapons, so they can bring it back into their pockets. Because they're selling this country out to fucking China. Sorry if I'm distracted. I got a bunch of text messages and stuff and shit like that. I mean, hell, the military these days, we treat them like they're second-class citizens, like they're nothing. I mean, the government would much rather take the money and put it towards drug addicts, homeless people that don't contribute to the society at all, rather than, and don't get me wrong, I'm sure there's drug addicts out there that possibly deserve a second chance, that are trying to become better. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking people that take the money that they get and they funnel it back into the drugs that's causing a huge problem. when that money should be going towards the veterans that serve this country and helping them with the mental stress of what it comes back to of being in this country, the PTSD. I mean, shit, I have fucking PTSD for the shit that I went through as a cop. And I'm not saying what I've gone through, my own PTSD, is anything close to what they're doing, but I have somewhat of a sliver of an idea of what they deal with day in and day out. The shit that I've fucking seen working in law enforcement for 7 years will fucking haunt you for the rest of your life. I mean, I get night terrors still in my life now because of what I see. You don't want to hear the stories that I've seen or I've heard from other people that I was on shift with. No, but they don't care about that. They don't want to hear those stories. And they say, well, and if you become a cop, you're signing up to be the possibility of getting shot at or died or and stuff like that. Fuck no, I'm not. I'm going out there to help people that can't help themselves. I'm not going out there to try and, oh, well, he signed up for it. Sorry. No, I'm going out there because I'm trying to help and make a difference in this world, make a difference in society. And they don't want to talk about that. I mean, it's just sad to see that how this country is being ran, and it's treated. It's toward its law enforcement officers, and its military men and women. And yes, I said men and women. There's only two fucking genders, people. When did common sense die? I mean, how is bacteria life on Earth? But I'm gonna go down that fucking subject. It's just, I don't know. This country needs a lot of fixing, and the money is a huge fucking problem in this country. And I don't know. It's sad to see how this country's being managed and ran. Sorry, I'm making sure. And let me say something real quick about the bullying front. I'm not condoning bullying. I'm not saying that. I'm saying kids that get bullied, fucking stand up for yourself. I want to teach my kid as, let's use this analogy because it's a great one. It's the wolf, the sheep, and the sheepdog. I was never raised to be the wolf. And I was made sure to never become a fucking sheep. So I was raised to be the sheepdog. And if I ever got picked on, I was told by my father, you have my permission to fight back. But if I find out that you're the one causing the fights, then you and I are going to have a problem. So stick up for yourself. Fight back. No, they make this trying to fight back is a bad thing and standing up for yourself. No one else wants to speak the fucking truth and call it like this. They just want to talk about it around the fucking beer and shit like that. If anyone watching wants to come on the show tonight with me, come on. you have a point you disagree with me on, or one of these topics that I brought up tonight that you agree with and you want to talk about, come on the show. Text me right there. We got the number running across the screen. I mean, I don't know what else to kind of go on through. I mean, that's kind of my rant and raving.
Brett, the biggest problem with these kids these days is they rather just bring a gun to school, shoot somebody, threaten them, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to kill this, or my family's going to sue you, or my dad's going to beat you up, instead of going out back, having a nice little fist fight, and then becoming friends. Possible. But at least you're staying up for yourself.
I became friends with my bullies when I got older in life because I come to find out the life that they were living at the time was not a good life. They were getting picked on in their own way. So they took it out on other people. And I'm not saying that's right, but I understand. Yeah, we had disagreements as a kid, but then we got older and we realized, all right, let's bygones be bygones. Bygones be bygones. I mean, we don't need to go on for a full hour. I mean, I didn't have a whole bunch that I wanted to rant and rave about. I'm sure there's some other shit that I'd love to rant and rave about, but I didn't make a note of it for tonight's show. I mean, we can call it, you know what? Let's call it a night for this. I'm sure they'll probably do another episode where you got me on here ranting and raving about some other fucking bullshit of what's going on with this country. I mean, we got gun problems and yeah, it's kids just need to stick up for themselves. It's okay. But you know what? Let's just end it at that, and let's just end it off for tonight. It kind of had some moments in there. But you know what? It needed to be said. And I'm sure this was kind of my first episode of doing a little what the fuck is going on in this country. You know what? I might do some more episodes like this because it needs to be said. And no one is really no one's sticking up for what's right. And it's sad. So you know what? We're going to call it an early night tonight. I just want to say thank you all for tuning in to the Whitetail Advantage Podcast. Like I said, this show, we speak the truth. We speak what we see. We're going to talk about and speculate on how we see things. And you know what? All I ask is put a quarter in the slot machine. Just help us share the show, spread the word of hunting, share of what is wrong in this country and what needs to be fixed. But thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you for their support. We appreciate it here. And you know what? Hey, do us here. Let's just end the show because I'm getting fucking more pissed.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Whitetail Advantage Podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show, and we will see you next time.